San Antonio has seen huge price drops. This article is showing that San Antonio has one of the highest amounts of price drops in the nation. Yikes! There were so many articles that was previous to this that said San Antonio is a hidden gem. It is one of those markets that is recession proof, is crash proof. It is one of the most affordable areas in Texas with its rents and median house prices, but now there's price drops. So we're gonna go into why they're showing the price drops, what factors could be driving this price drops, and what you can do to optimize and create a great opportunity for possible investments, or maybe you shouldn't buy at all. San Antonio landed number 6 of the nation's 50 largest metro markets with the biggest price drops. Now, the clients we work with and our local residents have been saying that prices are getting ridiculous. Now, the pros and cons of having higher prices is a few months ago, you can get a home in a great neighborhood for 3% interest rate. Yeah, you had to deal with some of the bidding wars and maybe 10, 15,000 over, but it was better than other areas that were going 50, 60,000 over. So our market really saw some growth, and yes, you had to pay a little more out of pocket, but it was a great interest rate for a great price. But now prices are starting to come down. It's creating opportunities for people to buy homes at a reduced price, but the value is still going up. This other article from San Antonio Current says the housing market is overvalued for more than 30% according to a university report. Now this piggybacks off a Fortune magazine article that says that the San Antonio is overpriced and overpopulated. This Fortune article is saying that the last housing bubble missed Texas. Now the Lone Star State is home to the most overvalued housing market in the country. Now let me define overvalued. The overvalued that this article mentions is the average median household income. The average household median income is about $54,000 in San Antonio. The median sales price today is around $360,000. If you look at only median household income and you look at median sales price, they don't match. So it could create a sense that there is a bubble coming, and maybe this is why prices are dropping, because people are being forced out. Let me know why you think prices are dropping. I'm curious to know, because there is so much to talk about. If you're thinking this is gonna be a 2008 bubble with all the foreclosures, I don't think that's really gonna happen. Even in this article, which is obviously mentioning that these cities are overpriced if you compare it to the median household income. Mark Zandi says we are not living in a housing bubble 2.0 just yet. If you look at that median household income and compare it to sales prices, this article is saying San Antonio is 25% overpriced if you just look at the household income. Now, what's really interesting that we're gonna talk about towards the end of the video is this tech boom. Austin saw this 2 years ago with all these tech companies coming in, and now San Antonio is seeing it. The government in San Antonio is now inviting a lot of these tech companies that are having these positions and are basically renovating an entire part of the city to call it Port San Antonio. You have electrical car companies, you have tech companies, you have storage data facility companies that are coming in. There's a big housing boom, and San Antonio this year had the biggest tech boom in the nation. Bigger than San Francisco, bigger than New York. So maybe the metric of the average household income is gonna be different to justify a higher price. This San Antonio Current article is also saying that San Antonio is overvalued by 30%. It also mentions in the article the same Fortune article talking about household income versus median house price. My other videos also go through what happened before this bubble happened and what preceded this downward of prices here in San Antonio. Like and subscribe, check out those other videos. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's go back to the first article we mentioned in the video, and that San Antonio was called a hidden gem by the National Association of Realtors. Now, it's saying that the household income to median sales price is 6.5 times what people are making. I read the article that the National Association of Realtors put out, and I wanted to see what they were saying about San Antonio. So they were grouping the San Antonio to Braunfels area, which I talk a lot about in this channel, about the 35 corridor in San Antonio. This metro had a second highest net domestic migration in 2020 at 25,000 people, and the second place was Dallas. They're a huge city, and we're seeing very similar migration to this city. The National Association of Realtors, who has all the data of homes sold and migration, is saying because of the affordability, its population has rose 4.8% in the 3-year period. The housing supply is very tight, with the highest ratio of change in population between 2017 and 2018. Now, I know we're in 2022 or 2023 if you're watching this, but these people aren't leaving. They are here, and we've seen in-migration. We're not seeing a lot of out-migration. If you look at the average rents, San Antonio is the lowest. You look at the median house price, San Antonio is the lowest. It's bound to happen that prices are going to continue to go up as demand goes up. What's stopping people from purchasing could be the interest rates. You know, on average, they're saying that people are paying $500 more in a mortgage than they did 6 months ago, with gas prices higher, with goods and services, restaurants, going out, all the life things that happen are now more expensive. People are watching what they spend, but people have to live somewhere. And it seems like San Antonio is one of those areas that's still very, very affordable. And now with the price cuts, are we going to see a housing market that's back to the multiple offer situations? And is it going to drive prices to Austin prices or Dallas prices? I hope not. Now let's look at the data of here locally in San Antonio. What is going on with the actual homes sold and the facts? If you look at the last 3 weeks, median house price is still going up. It's went from 350,000 to 360,000, and there's been a record number of homes sold, which is 683. If you look at the 2-week average, it went as low as 503 homes closed in a week. Now it's up to 683. I know there's fluctuations, but we're still seeing very positive numbers in the actual homes sold. Now, I keep mentioning the affordability and how attractive San Antonio can be. Well, investors took a big piece of the pie a few months ago. I was preaching to people, hey, rates are down. I know you gotta deal with multiple offers, but it's still not as bad as the rest of the country. So in this article, it's showing nearly half of homes sold in Bexar County, which is in San Antonio, went to investors in 2021. 28% was the highest in the US. The investors saw the opportunity of purchase price to rental ratios and multifamily, commercial, and they dove in deep. Now, could the price drop be a cause of so many investors buying properties in San Antonio and then wanting to get out? Let me know in the comments if you think investors in San Antonio caused this price drop. Everybody wants to know what Zillow's saying. So Zillow, not the best real estate company, but they do have a lot of data to give us when it comes to sold prices and how long things have been on the market. So in this Bloomberg article, they call it a housing market that are softening. You have Sacramento, Salt Lake City, Arizona, Las Vegas, California, San Antonio, Austin, Nashville are all having price drops. In May of 2021, you saw about a 6.4% in price drops. May of 2022, we're seeing almost double the amount of price drops. So it's about 6% more than last year. Now you look at overall the growth and the equity that people have had in San Antonio have seen about a 30% increase in prices in the last year. This article shows that San Antonio home prices have gone up 30% in 3 years on average. So you look at an overall growth of 30%, you're looking at a price drop of 12%, you are still at an overall gain. In my opinion, better than a stock market. Stock market, somebody sneezes and the stock goes down, who knows where it goes. But at least real estate is very predictable. It's slow moving and we can see the trends before it actually happens. If you look back in San Antonio home sales in the last 3 weeks, you're actually seeing a $30,000 increase in average sold price. So that means people are buying more expensive homes. So if there's so many price drops, why are people buying more expensive homes? It could be various reasons. It could be that the affordability, even if you're in the luxury price point, if you want to be in the suburbs, you get more bang for your buck. And I think now people are seeing the opportunity to bring their luxury lifestyle here. And I think that's what's happening is you have more of an influx of people buying higher priced homes because of the value. We have clients moving in from Dallas, Austin, Washington that are coming here, California. They're looking at the San Antonio prices and they can't believe it. Now, the only downside to it is property taxes are higher, even though prices may be low. But if you're in the county, in the suburbs, usually property taxes are lower. Another prediction is Port San Antonio is booming. It's pretty much has its own executives and it has its own developments. You have tech companies, car companies that's developing in Port San Antonio, and it could be part of this tech boom. Austin saw it 2 years ago, and I feel like it's coming to us. This article from Business Facilities is saying San Antonio is serious about tech. The question is, we knew that the pandemic was a catalyst for growth in tech. And the article is saying, I believe the momentum building the tech sector in San Antonio is here to stay. The market has flown under the radar while growth has exploded. in the north and all the way up to the 35 corridor. Talented entrepreneurs, university leaders, researchers, innovators have well-established firms and are growing in this city. They're doing massive infrastructure on 281. They're doing massive infrastructure improvements on 1604. All the major thoroughfares are now improving. 35 has $1 billion project to connect the Buda area all the way down to San Antonio, and it's basically an expressway to come into San Antonio. There's a lot of infrastructure money that is dumped into this growth. Let's look at the companies that are moving here. 22% of the companies in the pipeline have IT and cyber, which is USAA, HEB, Rackspace, Geekdom, TechBlock, and a whole bunch more startups that are coming because land is cheap, houses are cheap, and it's great affordability no matter what price point you're in. And also we got some great amenities. In my other video, I mentioned that the last 2 years, San Antonio actually saw more growth than all of the major cities in tech. The mayor is inviting companies down, city council is inviting companies. There's a lot of growth that's happening, but right now in the housing market, we are seeing price cuts. If you need help relocating around San Antonio, our team would love to help. Shoot us an email and we'd love to connect.